Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Hey, guess what? You guys are never going to believe it. I did it. I dropped my daughter off at college and I survived it. Before I left, I was feeling so emotional. I was feeling so heartbroken over the whole thing. I was feeling such a sense of loss, such a sense of how huge it was for my family and for all of our futures, that just even mentioning her going was like bringing me to tears on a minute-by-minute basis. As you guys saw in my packing video for the trip, I couldn't even talk about it without getting teary-eyed. And so I want to let you guys know that yes, I did decide to vlog about it, so I did shoot some video while I was down there, and I thought, you know, I might as well talk about the experience, because the more I talk about it with people, the more it helps me to cope with kind of the big hole that's in my life left by her. But as a parent, as a mother, you guys know, I know, from the second that you give birth to your child, you have them temporarily. It's a temporary lease agreement, and you know that all your work that you put into this kid and everything that you do for them, the end goal is for them to go, and go they must. And yes, I'm going to start crying again, but don't worry, I have my handy dandy box of tissues here this time so that I can blot my probably runny mascara and get through this. Anyway, yeah, so I first wanted to come on and say thank you to all the viewers who supported me after the last video that I posted, in which I did get teary and talk about how big it seemed in my life. And so I just wanted to say thank you for all the support. It was great reading all your comments from people who have been there, done that, who said, don't worry, you'll survive it, you know, take the time you need to cry, they need to do this. To the people who are younger and are just, you know, sending their kids off to kindergarten this week for the first time and are feeling that first tug of separation. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like to send your first child off to college, because it is not easy. As I said, as a mother, you know, our job is to raise a person who is smart and independent and who wants to go off and have their own life. And so I always said when she was younger that, you know, if I can do that, then my job will be done and I will have done a good job. So, you know, it's a great time for feeling a sense of accomplishment for me, for raising a wonderful person. It's also a great time for a sense of accomplishment for her, for doing the work she needed to do to, you know, get out of high school, apply, and get into college. It's like these baby steps along the way that help you to get ready for this separation. You know, from the, like people were saying, the first time you take them to kindergarten and, you know, walk away from that classroom. Oh, you could cry for 3 days over that one, but you know you're in good hands, and you know you're going to see them in a couple of hours. Then you fast forward to where you're sending your kid to sleepaway camp, and you know that's a couple of days where you know you're not going to see them that night. You're not going to get to give them the kiss on the head before they go to bed. You know, each of those is hard in their own way. Here I go. But they each help along the process of separating. Hold on, I'll be right back. And then it's a hop, skip, and a jump from sleepaway camp to all of a sudden they're a junior in high school, they have their driver's license, and you're setting them loose on the roadways of your town, and they can go wherever they want, whenever they want, and you don't know where they are. And those are kind of the steps that gets you to the point where you're ready to, you know, release them into the wilds of college. And of course, college is just another step on that release program. After that becomes the real life, in which, you know, now they're not even coming home for summer break or for Christmas break. You know, hopefully they're still coming back for family events, but they could move to the other side of the planet for all you know. So, you know, it's like this sort of gradual, like I said, release program that you're on with your kids. And while I think that the kids, of course, are very, very excited to go, and they're not thinking about it from our standpoint, from the parent standpoint. So for the kids' standpoint, it's scary, it's exciting, they just want to go, they are so ready to go. From the parent standpoint, you know, it's sad, it's a loss, it leaves a hole in your family where that kid used to be. You know, every person has a, you know, their role to play in the family, whether it's peacekeeper or agitator, they play some role. And to have that kind of missing piece of the puzzle, my gosh, I can't even talk about this. to have that piece of the puzzle missing, you know, it just is, the family is different and has to adjust. So yes, it is hard. I think what I'm going to miss most is her coming home from school in the afternoon, you know, like when she would go to high school, she leaves in the morning, but she's home every afternoon, at least for a little while before she went off to sports or activities. But our nice ritual was that when my kids come home from school, usually one or the other would come into my office, and I'm usually sitting over there working at the computer, and they would come in and sit in this chair that I'm sitting in right now, and when my kids are in it, I call it the therapy chair. Because, you know, there's always something that went on at school during the day that they want to talk about. Sometimes it would be therapeutic, sometimes it would just be like, you know, hey, we're out of milk, can you go to the grocery store and buy something? But it was just the like daily seeing their face, talking. I think I'm going to miss this the most. And the other thing I miss a lot is knowing where she is at night. You know, part of being a parent and part of the worry of having them go to school is that you're worried about what they're doing. Did you raise them right? Did you instill the right values so that they're able to make the right decisions? And part of that is on you, and part of it, of course, is on them. And as we know, you know, when they're young, their frontal lobe isn't really developed to the point where they can make decisions with forethought into what could happen. It's a great thing to have. It's why younger people are like that. It's so that they're brave. It's so that they're daring. It's so that they can do things and you know, not worry about the consequences. Consequences are for older people. I think that whole thing develops around the age of 25. So I worry about her at night, you know, like, is she walking across campus alone? Is she going into Miami to a club? You know, of course she is, yes. And I always liked kind of, my security blanket was knowing that she was home at night. You know, she had her curfew, she had to come in and give me a little peck on the cheek and let me know she was here. And just not having that is like the worrisome part, but hopefully everything will go good from that standpoint, and she will be safe and sound down there. Let me tell you a little bit about the campus. It is beautiful, and let me bring in my vlog video. Hey everybody, I'm standing under the shade of this big, beautiful banyan tree here on the UMiami campus where I'm dropping off my daughter at school. Today's the day, it's the last day of the 3-day orientation, and sadly we'll be leaving her today, but I wanted to give you guys a little glimpse of the campus from this spot, which is just gorgeous. Gosh, I wish I was going here. She is so lucky to have thought of a place like this. I stayed in New England near my family, but she is a brave one. Anyway, let me just show you, oh, well, you've seen this outfit before. I was going to show you what I'm wearing today. You saw this in my lookbook. This is my Banana Republic top, my Bobble Bar necklace, and my little H&M skirt. And of course, I'm wearing my, what are these, my Mephisto kicks, and I have these new Versace or somebody's sunglasses. Loving these. Anyway, let me turn the camera around off of me so you can see this beautiful campus. All right, there is this big water feature in the center of campus with the fountain. Directly across that building is the Shalala Student Life Center that has the campus bar, which is right, let's see if I can get my finger in there on the left-hand side. All in here are Jamba Juice and Starbucks and all kinds of little food court things. Going this way, there is their Olympic-sized outdoor swimming pool, and then there's all these beautiful pathways on this side. On this side of the pond is the School of Architecture, and then over here are the residential colleges, so somewhere in one of those buildings is where my daughter's going to be living. You'll notice that the windows all have the hurricane shutters on them. All around campus they have these great places in the shade to sit and rest. They have all these like little glider tables, and then they have tables with umbrellas, and it's so beautifully gardened and planted. You know, it's so tropical and everything, but it is just gorgeous. This is the big basketball building, the Bank United Center, where they have their basketball and where we had our big cheerleading session yesterday. Here are all the freshmen gathered up. They're taking them off for different orientation activities. That's not all of them, but this is a big crowd. My daughter is probably in that crowd somewhere, but we've already said our goodbyes. And I gotta say, I'm doing okay so far. So here's this really pretty patio up here. It's on the 3rd floor of the Shalala Student Center. So now I'm on the other side of that pond with the fountain. So that gives you a better view of what the residential college looks like. And then directly below me is where that like Starbucks and stuff is. So there's more upperclassmen dorms over there. They're doing some construction. They're having a big party over there tonight. Unfortunately, the pool is under construction. So that's it, you guys. I'm going to sign off for now. It was great showing you the campus, and I'm heading back home pretty soon. Our flight is this evening, and so I'll be back in Boston before you know it. My baby will stay here, but I'm psyched to get home. I feel like, you know, our work here is done. She's settled. She's met some people already. She's doing really well. She seems happy, and she seems ready for us to go, so that's when we know it's time to go. Anyway, coming home, and I'll see you guys soon. I did want to mention, though, 2 very successful products that I used while I was down there. My packing went well. I hardly brought anything, and that was great. The waterproof mascara that I took, I really hadn't used it much before I went, but man, is this stuff waterproof. It's the Covergirl Full Lash Bloom Mascara, and this was a godsend. It did not come off ever. Talk about being waterproof. It is everything proof. It, you know, it doesn't come off with soap. It doesn't come off with a makeup removing towelette. It pretty much just stayed on my eyes for the entire 3 days, and all I did was touch it up in the morning. But when I cried, it didn't dribble, it didn't leak, it didn't leave flakes all over. It was perfection in a waterproof mascara. So very nice. The other thing was, with it being 94 degrees and so hot down there, that I was worried about my hair being frizzy, and I had just picked up a new Frizz Bomb to try, and so tried it for the first time down there, and oh my gosh, am I in love with this stuff. It is the Frieda Frizz Ease Beyond Smooth Frizz Immunity Primer. And you put this stuff on after you get out of the shower and have towel dried your hair. I do 1 pump, sometimes 1.5, and then I just run it through my entire hair, pretty much up to here. I don't like to put it up here because it does tend to make my hair look a little bit dirty faster at the top. But my hair did not frizz. I styled it, and then usually, even if I style it, it doesn't matter. Flat iron, in styler. Within 10 minutes of me being outside in the humidity, my hair just puffs right up into like this big wavy blonde puffball, which is not flattering on me. And this was truly an awesome product to find. So very happy with those 2. So thanks everybody for watching. As always, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed the little tour of Miami and watching me cry. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.